Hey everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome. Hopefully our live video is working now. I want to welcome everybody. My name is Ben, and I'm here with you from the group IELTS for All. Just search for it on Facebook if you're not here already. But welcome, guys. And today we're going to be looking at some Part 2 speaking. Actually, I'm trying to... I can't remember what prompt that I gave you guys. So I posted a prompt about 1 day ago, about 24 hours ago or so. And I asked you guys to make sure to post your Part 2 speaking recordings up on the site. And we've got, I think, 6 different posts, so 6 recordings for us to listen to. And let's see, what did I post? Aha, yes. Okay, so the prompt was describe your best friend from your school days. So I'm very curious how you guys responded to that. By the way, if you want to find out more about me and about what we do here on IELTS for All, you can check out our website. It's IELTSlessonsforyou.com. Okay, or you'll see in a moment our Facebook page. I put the URL up on the screen, and that will appear in just a second here. So why don't we go ahead and get started. If you're with us live, make sure that you give me a little comment in the comments. If you have any questions about the IELTS exam, especially speaking. We're talking about speaking today, so we have a lot of really good strategies for you guys to help you improve, all available on our website. So if you have questions, don't be shy, let me know, and let's get started. All right. Sorry, I'll move this here. Hello, I see a couple people here, all of them named Anonymous. I wonder if I can change that setting. Apparently not. Okay, well, that's all right. Welcome to all you anonymous people out there. And let me go ahead and move this, and we can get things started. All right, I'm going to be taking notes here. Okay, so as I listen, I will be checking for any kind of grammar mistakes or vocabulary errors or anything else that I hear, and I'll try to give you some strategy advice as well. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Now, we've been using this website SpeakPipe. This is the way that we collect recordings, and for any of our members who ask for feedback for Part 2, this is kind of what we use for that. We're going to start here with a message from Ajish. So let's go ahead and listen closely.
I would like to speak about my best friend, Mr. Martin, whom I met in my primary level education, and our friendship still goes on. He is a very jovial person and very talkative by nature. I like him a lot because of his trustworthy character. Whatever we tell him about us or an incident or anything like that, he won't share to others. He keeps in mind and give possible solutions to solve any issues we have faced. That is the most important factor I like him about. Another thing about him is he's very brilliant in academics. He is smart in mathematics and science, and he can solve any problems in meantime, and it always surprises me how he solves it. And another factor about him is he's a drama artist. He's a good actor. He looks very handsome with blue eyes and blushing cheeks, cute face, and lean, clean body. That is his overall physical appearance. Everybody get involved with him. You talk with him few seconds. That is his character speciality. And what influence he made me is about his true nature. The true nature which he shows is the most influencer on others. That's the main thing I have to tell about him. He has a good habit of helping others. He loves charity. He spends money for charity and social work. He is a member of school social welfare program, and lot more things about these.
Okay, good. And that's 2 minutes. I'm really sorry about the sound quality there. Yeah, from time to time, just I don't know if it's a kind of microphone issue or maybe the internet connection kind of where you are, but you could tell the recording was a little bit choppy there. That happens from time to time. For the next time, because we'll be trying to do these live lessons pretty frequently, when you record on SpeakPipe, you can first record and then listen to your recording before you submit. So if you listen to the recording and it sounds like this, like a little bit choppy, a bit difficult to hear, you may want to record one more time. Sometimes it helps to move the microphone away from your voice just a little bit. Hold it maybe 6 inches away if you're on a smartphone. So anyway, the one comment that I have about strategy is that you're doing something I sometimes call listing, where you're listing maybe 5 or 6 qualities about this person. Especially when describing a person, I think that's a pretty common thing to happen, and for me, it's a kind of strategy mistake. For part two is the only part of the exam where you can actually plan your answer, right? You have 1 minute to prepare before you start speaking. So part 2 is where good strategy is the most valuable, because you actually have some time to think about it. Just like with writing, you have some time to think about how to organize what you want to say. Now in part 2, you have a big opportunity to share and display to the examiner the range of grammar and the range of vocabulary that you're capable of. Now if you're describing a person, of course you're going to be describing their personality and maybe their appearance, although usually it's not really relevant. But if you just list 5 or 6 qualities of that person, you're going to be limited in terms of your grammar. Okay, so one thing we try to encourage and we try to show with our part 2 strategies, we have something called the 5-point strategy in our program, our Band 9 program. And that 5-point strategy, the goal is to show a range of grammar. Within those 2 minutes, you can display a lot of different grammar, but you need to have a very specific and very conscious, active approach in the way that you start and the way that you organize your ideas in part 2. It's all about kind of the note-taking that you do in those 5 different categories. Okay, so yeah, if you're curious about these kind of strategies, these are all involved in or all included in our video strategy course, which is part of our Band 9 program. Okay, we've just launched kind of a new version of this program that is very affordable. It gives you all of our daily assignments, 1 month of daily assignments, speaking, writing, listening, reading, and it's going to introduce all of the strategies that we have within that month. Okay, now if you want to kind of move forward a little more quickly than that, all of our video strategy guides are available to you to watch anytime within your Band 9 membership. Okay, so if you want to just follow the daily assignments, that's great. You're going to get introduced to all of these different strategies within 1 month. Okay, but if you want kind of to really get started with your speaking strategy or your writing strategy, you can just watch the video guides at any time. Okay, watch the whole thing in 1 day if you want. All right, now getting to the kind of specific issues that I noticed, or mistakes, I guess. What influence he made me. The word influence, just be careful how you use that. Let's think of some different ways we could say that. He had a major influence on me. Influence on me in several ways. Okay, or he influenced me in several ways. Okay, that's a good way to introduce that. Let's see. One way that he influenced me is that, etc. Okay? So if you notice, I'm usually using influence as either a verb, he influenced me, or he had an influence on me. Okay, those 2 structures will be really useful for you. What influence he made me let's see. You could change this maybe. The influence he had on me is ba 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 ba. Okay, but these are some really natural ways to introduce that. The main thing I have to say about him. Okay, now the difference between say and tell. Let's go through that just for a moment here. Say something to someone. Okay, or just say something. Okay, that's the big difference, is that you can just say something. I want to say something. That's possible. Okay? Or, on the other hand, with tell someone something, or tell something to someone. Let me make this more clear. Okay, but you notice with say, this part is optional. With tell, it is not. You can't just tell something. There's a couple of exceptions. You can tell a story and you can tell a joke, okay? But you can't use it like this. The main thing I have to tell about him. I want to tell something about him. Doesn't really work. Say something about him. That's good, okay? Because you don't need to include the to. Tell always has a to involved, okay? That's kind of what this someone is here. Okay, he spends money on charity. Okay, it's just a simple one. Spend money on something. Okay, and that's it. Yeah, I couldn't really hear the first maybe 45 seconds of your response very clearly, so just for next time, really check your sound quality there. But overall, a really nice answer. I thought your pronunciation was really good. Intonation sounded very natural. You sound very comfortable, so you're on the right track. Nice job. Let's see if we've got any comments here. Some stupid jerk. By the way, this is a good time for me to address this. It's not possible to buy an IELTS certificate, okay? I know that it's frustrating to be studying for the IELTS if you've taken it a couple of times. You know, if it sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true, okay? You can't buy these certificates. If you can, you would be caught for fraud. These companies will be caught for fraud. Let me go ahead and switch to this here. I'm going to go ahead and delete that comment, as I do with all of these comments. Unfortunately, it's not possible for me to totally screen all these kind of people from the site, but as much as I try. Maybe it was already deleted. Okay. Well, anyway, don't pay attention to those kind of people, because they're just trying to distract you from your progress, okay? Anyway, back to business here. Let's see. Okay, good deal. We've got one comment here. Any material or other site for IELTS coaching? Absolutely, yeah. You can always check our website. We have a ton of material there, and as I mentioned before, a very inexpensive, very low-cost option for daily study. You kind of join our study community, as it were. And that's available at IELTSlessonsforyou.com. That's just our general site. If you are interested in one of our Band 9 programs, just add join to the end of that URL, and you'll find us there, okay? All right, or just contact us through that Facebook link you can see down there at the bottom of the screen. All right, let's move on to our next speaker, shall we? All right, next we've got Monica. Let's check out Monica's answer.
I'm going to talk about one of my very good friends. She's not my best friend though, but very close to my heart. Her name is Sony. I met her at 11th standard. Earlier I chose science stream, but somehow I realized and felt that I would not be able to go ahead with science stream. So I asked and urged and requested my principal to change my stream to commerce. And after so much struggle, uh, I I finally got commerce stream. So on the very first day when I reached my classroom, the very first girl I met is her. I came to know that she is a class monitor, though earlier it was, I mean, rarely we talked for like 2 minutes. So I thought she is very arrogant and uh, very, very self centered girl. But gradually and slowly, I came to know that she is not the way I thought of. She's a very down to earth girl. So anybody can reach out to her whenever they need any kind of help. She was the class monitor. So apart from these things, I found her very intelligent and helping in nature. She used to stood first in the class. She was not from the same school where I was studying. She got transferred from some other school after passing her 10th standard. So that is why she was new to me. um, Other most important thing or influencing thing was that she was very good dancer. So I realized that she's not only dedicated herself fully to studies. She has also other curricular activities. She also participated in various dance
Okay, nice job. Nice job. Yes, very, very good. Yeah, I think you're kind of following the bullet points in the prompt pretty well. Sometimes I find those bullet points to be not very intuitive. They don't seem to flow very well, and it can cause you to sound a little bit disorganized following those. That's one thing that we introduce with our 5-point strategy is that you don't really have to follow those bullet points. Okay, they're there to guide you, but we actually recommend that you don't follow those and instead use kind of our 5-point strategy. The reason being, if you follow the same kind of structure every time, you start to fall into that rhythm, and it gives you a lot of confidence when you go into the exam. So that if you get a topic that you haven't prepared, you follow those same 5 points that you always do, and that gives you that confidence and that kind of foundation that can be really helpful. Just a couple of individual mistakes. When you're using though or while or although, you don't want to add but. Okay, it's just repetitive. I'm not sure. Maybe this is a major. This struck me as a little strange. Science history. I've never heard that as a kind of major or, as you said, stream. The word struggle. Just focus on your pronunciation a little bit with that word. And the first girl I met was her. Now I could see kind of throughout the middle section of your response that in your mind, you're not quite sure if you should be using past tense or present tense. Okay, you're describing her personality, and in doing so, you want to use present tense because her personality hasn't changed, but you're also in the middle of telling a story about your school days where you want to use past tense. Okay, and again, this is where separating these 5 different points can help you separate the grammar that you want to use. Right, so you make a clean break between your past and your present. That gives you that confidence in what kind of grammar you should be using. Okay, so if you have any confusion about which grammar to use, that's when you need a little bit more stable strategy. Okay, I just wanted to highlight came to know because this is a really good kind of native sounding expression and one that a lot of people don't really use properly. So good job with this. Came to know is good. She is not the way I thought of her. Or you can just remove of and her completely. She is not the way I thought. Of her sounds better, right? Yeah, so she's not the way I thought of her is good. She used to, I think you said stood, but maybe I was a little bit unclear about what exactly you said, and I'm not quite sure what this means exactly, but let's see. Maybe you're talking about kind of her academic performance, and you could say she was always top of the class. Maybe that's what you were looking for there. And influencing thing, the good adjective to use there is influential thing. Okay, influential thing. And she is not only, now the word dedicated could be used as an adjective. She is not dedicated to her studies, or it could be a verb. Okay, and since you have an object here, dedicated herself, okay, that means you're using it as a verb. Since you're using it as a verb, you want to remove this be verb here. She not only dedicated herself to her studies, etc. Okay, if you want to use it as an adjective, she was not only dedicated to her studies, dot, dot, dot. Okay, so notice as an adjective, we've got that be verb, but we have no object after dedicated. Okay, when you've got the object, you're using it as a verb. You can't use another verb. This be verb needs to be removed. All right, nice job though. Yeah, very, very good. Again, I think pronunciation is a very positive feature for you. Intonation was very good. You sounded very natural. Just a few grammar mistakes, and I think if you really want to shoot for 7.5 or an 8, some really stable, consistent strategy will help you a lot. Okay? I sometimes use the analogy, let me switch here. But yeah, I sometimes use the analogy of sports. Okay, because I really like sports. I play quite a few sports. And especially I think of the analogy of golf. Okay, so somebody told me once, I love going out and playing a round of golf. Okay, I just play 18 holes or 9 holes. It's very fun. But somebody told me once, if you only play rounds of golf, you're not going to improve. Because every shot you take is going to be different. And the way to actually improve your skills, and this is for anything, whether it's physical or academic or mental or anything, the way to improve is consistent practice. Practicing the same thing again and again. So, my point is, with part 2, if you are looking at the part 2 prompt, you see the 4 points that you need to mention. Each part 2 prompt has a different 4 points, which means you're practicing a different strategy every time, a different organization, a different outline every time. That's like playing a round of golf. Okay? It's good practice, but it's not going to help you improve your skills. If you really want to refine your skills, okay, and make real measurable progress quickly, the key thing is to use the same strategy every time. So what you need is a strategy that's designed to be flexible, but also stable. And that's the goal for all of our courses, writing, speaking, reading, and listening, a flexible strategy that also provides the structure for repeated practice, and that's what moves you forward. Okay, so we've seen that time and time again with countless students, is once you move from kind of free, unstructured practice into structured strategy, repetition, and practice, that's where you see the results. And that's why so many people are stuck at their level and can't move to the next. You need that repeated, consistent practice. Okay, let's see if we've got any comments here. Boo, boo, boo. Okay, Anonymous asks, would you please tell me those 5 points? I have joined late, so I maybe have missed that part. Joined late. All of those video strategies are available for you to watch anytime. Okay, so just go to the video courses. Let me see. If you're in the Band 9 basic program, let me just... For anybody not in the program, this will be a little kind of demonstration of what the program sort of contains. My internet's going to be a little slow since I am Facebook streaming at the moment, but let me zoom out a bit. Okay, so go to the home page. Of course, your daily assignments are here, but what you want is these video strategy courses. Okay, so go to the speaking course. Get slow internet here. I need to log in. So obviously this is only for members, so you'll need to log in if you're going to access this. Um, Sorry, guys. Be patient here. Okay. So we'll load up that Band 9 Basic page. Just a moment here. Let's check any other comments. Okay, I have one question. A habit of saying when I think about something, but many say it's not good and lowers your marks. It's a really good question. For fluency, the examiner is going to be thinking about whether those moments of hesitation are language related or content related. Okay? So there's no perfect answer to your question, because if the examiner feels that you're just thinking of what you should say, if it's content related, you're coming up with an idea, that's fine. That's not going to affect your score. If that or is language related, so if you can't think of the word to express something, or you can't think of the grammar to express something, that's going to affect your fluency score. Okay, so it all just depends on how often and in what context you're kind of hesitating like that. Now going back to our speaking course here, let's go ahead and check it out. Now that I am logged in. Oh, and science stream. Okay, yep, I see that comment now. Okay, so you can see we're kind of covering all of the skills in these 5 modules. Module 3 is what you're looking for. Part 2, the 5 points strategy. Okay, and this is covered in 6 different lessons that you can see right down here. Okay, the 5-point strategy, start here in module 3 and work your way through these different lessons. Okay, so we're going to introduce the strategy here. Okay, the 5-point strategy, which skills you should emphasize in each point. Okay, what are the advantages of this strategy? And then we'll give you 3 examples of responses that are based on these 5 points. Okay, so walk your way through these video lessons. As I said, we do have these daily assignments, right, that are published every day. Over the course of 1 month, we will cover all of those strategies. Okay, but as I said at the beginning, if you are kind of in a rush or you're really interested in learning the speaking strategies very quickly, okay, maybe you don't want to take a whole month to learn it, that's fine. Use those daily assignments, but watch the whole speaking course on your own. Okay, that's why we include all of these courses for you to watch anytime that you want. Okay, we also have, while I'm on the page, we do a live Q&A every Monday. Okay, for all of our members, and we have a private Facebook forum where only our members are invited to post any essays that they want, post their speaking practice, post their writing, reading, listening, speaking questions, and our instructors will be answering those. All right, let's go back to our comments here. Monica. Okay. Okay, good. Yeah, then Monica, I think if the examiner has the impression that they are content related, you should be fine. Okay, and that's very specifically written in the speaking scoring guide, the rubric. I think it's called language related hesitation or something like that. So should be no problem if it's content related. All right, let's go to our next speaker here. How many people are watching, by the way? Oh, we got 8 people. Welcome, everybody. If you have any questions or comments, just post them there and we'll see them on the screen. But let's get to our next speaker. Prashant is next. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about one of my friends. His name is Bunty, and we started our 8th standard in the same school, so we became friends. And after some time, we became very good friend, and we studied from 8th standard to our 10th, 11th, and we did graduation together. So after these 4 or 5 years, I found like my friend Bunty is uh, he's a happy-go-lucky kind of person, and he influenced me in various ways. I did not have any specific choice of colors or dresses, but his uh, dressing sense was quite good. So he influenced me to try new clothes, new t-shirts, and new pair of shoes. And then I started learning about fashion. And after meeting him, I found like in our life we can have certain challenges, but we should not take all of them seriously. We should just keep continue our work, and we should go with the flow. So he really influenced me in terms of my personality as well, because he's a happy person. He did not take any tension while we were in classes, we were doing studies. So, for instance, when we were preparing for our exams, he was he was never under pressure. He always said, "Whatever will happen for good. Just keep your mind free and prepare for the exams." So I really liked him, and nowadays we don't talk too much because we are in different countries and time zones are different. But yes, over the Facebook and
All right, really nice. Yeah, that was a well-designed response, I thought. Yeah, your grammar, especially the verb tenses, were very clearly sort of separated. Okay, so there was no confusion between past and present. I thought that was really good. And you use some really nice natural phrases. The key thing is you use these idioms or these kind of, I guess, native sounding expressions, but you use them very naturally. Yeah, they didn't sound like you just studied them from a book and are now using them for the first time, which is a really common problem for a lot of candidates. So really good job. Yeah, I think you would deserve a really high score for this. Let's see. We became very good friends. Check your pronunciation with graduation. Graduation. Slow that down a little bit. Notice that there are, really 4 syllables there. So make sure that you're pronouncing all of them. Graduation. Happy-go-lucky is very nice. Yeah. And as I said before, you use this in a very natural way. What's your pronunciation of influenced? Notice that the emphasis should be on the first syllable here. Influenced. He influenced me in several ways. And I think you actually used exactly the phrase that I mentioned earlier. So good job. And dressing sense, let's maybe change this to sense of style. You said t-shirts, pants, and new pairs of shoes. Continue our work. Maybe keep going in our work. Keep and continue kind of have the same meaning, right? And go with the flow is really nice. And just watch your pronunciation here of personality. Again, I think maybe your desire to speak quickly causes you to sometimes rush through these more complex words. So notice that there are 5 syllables here. Make sure that you're pronouncing all of them and not rushing through it. Personality, personality. All right, nice job, excellent. Okay, so far we've had 3 really, really high quality, really good responses. So I'm happy to see that. See if we've got any comments here. Yes, the website address. Let me post it one more time here. I should just have it on the screen probably, but yeah, it's IELTSlessonsforyou.com. Okay. And if you want to check out the Band 9 program, which I was explaining a little bit earlier, you can just add join to the end of that, and you'll be able to see the different program options that we have available. Maybe I can just quickly mention what they are. We have 2 versions of Band 9 right now. Okay? For those who are studying on their own, maybe with a limited budget, we have what's called the Band 9 Basic program. And the purpose of this program is to give you access to all of our strategies, to our daily assignments program, where you get daily assignments every day to work on your reading, writing, listening, speaking, but also kind of to get you involved in a student community. Okay, so you don't feel like you're studying alone. Okay, it's really hard to have motivation if you don't have people around you that are studying. The nice thing about Band 9 is, like today, for Wednesday, right, we've got our daily assignment for Wednesday. Everybody in the Band 9 program is studying this daily assignment. Okay, we're all studying the same kind of programs. Okay, we're all watching the same strategy videos, all doing the same exercises, right? So the nice thing about that is you feel like you're part of a group, right? And we have a kind of private Facebook forum where only group members are allowed to post their comments, their questions, post their answers to different exercises. That's really the benefit of, that's really the benefit of Band 9 Basic, is that you're able to join for a really reasonable price. It's just $30 a month, okay? So $1 a day, and you get access to all of those programs, okay? If you want feedback, you do get discounted feedback, and we have a feedback page where you can post your, send us your essays or take a one-on-one class, and we give you a discount on that. Now, Band 9 Personal is for those who do want more one-on-one time with me and with Michael, okay? So that's $100 a month, and it's the same as Band 9 Basic, except you get these 8 one-to-one classes. Okay, so 8 lessons over the course of the month. You can schedule them anytime. 30-minute lessons, work on your speaking. We can do essay correction, anything that you want to do for that. Okay, and of course, all of the same features of Band 9 Basic. All right, so if you're interested, as I put on the screen, here is the link to join. All right, let's get back to our feedback here. Who is going to be next? Dimple is next. Now, Dimple is a member of Band 9, so I'm hoping to hear some of our strategies being used here in this answer. So let's go ahead and listen.
So my best friend from my school days, her name is Nisha, and we studied together right from the first grade, and I know her since from my first grade, and it's been like 28 years that we're together, and I hope this journey will continue forever. And what I really like in her, the best quality which I really love and which I really appreciate every now and then, is her nature towards being strong when any negative things happen to her in life. She doesn't cry or she doesn't show her emotions immediately like how other women does. And she always ensured that her pain is not seen outside, and she doesn't show it out. Being a very best friend, she doesn't even show it to me that she is in a very negative situation, or she tries to handle her issues on her own. She's not dependent on anyone. That's the best quality which I have seen in her, and I really like that in her. Because I'm a person who always depend on my parents or my sisters. So, and also I'm a very emotional person. When it comes to certain negative things, I easily pour out. So I always compare that with her, and I really like that. And she has been a very good reason for my growth and for my for boosting up myself, for boosting up my confidence. And she's a person who always she always stands right in front of me and says that you can really do it. It's not that certain things are impossible. So she's always a person who motivates me, and that has been a very great thing in my life, because parents, yes, they do motivate, but having a friend of your same age and sharing many things together She has helped me in many instances and been a very big support. So next to my parents, she is the one who will always be with me in terms of anything, whatever I need and whatever I want. She's a person who will always.
Okay. Really nice. Yeah. Nice job. I think the organization could use just a little bit more work. I think I can hear you start to become a bit repetitive toward the end. So, really categorizing your response into those kind of 5 points is really going to help you. I think the second of those 5 points you kind of skipped. You went straight into, you kind of introduced who it was, but then you went straight into describing her personality. Now, one thing that I really like that you did, and others should try to learn from this, is that you described your relationship with her and how she is different from you. Okay, so when you're describing a person, describe their personality and then describe why you admire those characteristics by relating them to who you are, right? And that gives you a whole other set of vocabulary that you can use. So you can describe somebody as being very independent, strong, kind of strong-willed and resilient, and then say, I really admire those qualities because, personally, I'm kind of the opposite. I'm a little bit dependent on others. Sometimes I'm not strong enough to, make decisions for myself. I often rely on others. I'm sometimes over-reliant on my friends and my family, whereas she is like that. So you see how I can now use all of the opposite words to kind of display that range of vocabulary again. So anyway, some good points. I think the organization still needs a little bit of work because toward the end you sounded a bit repetitive. Let's see here. Have known her, and actually first grade, you don't need my. Let's see, her nature, maybe her tendency to be strong or her ability to be strong would be good. Like other women do. Now this one is a really interesting one because you're going to need to use this verb depends, which seems a little strange. I depends. That's not right, right? But when you use this structure, okay, you've got a clause here where who is now the subject, and who represents the word person. Okay, person is singular, and so you need depends. It's a little bit strange there, but one thing I noticed is that you use this phrase maybe 7 or 8 times. She's a person who, she's a person who, she's a person who. Okay, so one thing I'd say for everybody, record your answers. Always record your practice. Listen again, and if you notice that you're repeating the same phrase too often, you should see that as a missed opportunity to use a different phrase. Okay? So as soon as you say, she's a person who is very strong-willed, you've already displayed to the examiner that you have the ability to use that phrase. That's done. You don't need to use it again. You've already showed the examiner that skill. So if you want to keep talking about her personality, use different, a variety of phrases to introduce those personality traits. Okay? It's all about variety. Okay, and part 2 is the one chance you have to really apply some strategy and really kind of think about what the examiner would be most impressed by. Right? Okay. Let's see if we've got any comments here. Can we use you know or like while speaking? That's a good question. Yeah. It's similar to a question that I think Monica asked before. Those are seen as hesitation devices. Now, if those phrases or words like you like or you know or like, if they are seen as ways for you to give yourself time to think of vocabulary or grammar, if you're struggling to finish the sentence, and so you add words like or you know, it's going to affect your fluency, yes. Now, if those hesitations are seen as related to content and not language, in other words, if you're just thinking of ideas, you can't think of a good idea, so you say like or you know, that's not going to affect your score. But it just depends on what the examiner perceives it as. If the examiner thinks that you're not able to come up with the right grammar or vocabulary quickly enough, you're going to lose fluency points. Okay, so there's not a perfect answer to that. Native speakers use it all the time. You should try to avoid it, but sometimes if it's content related, it's fine. Good questions. Good questions. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate the compliments, guys. Let's see, we've still got 8 people watching. Thanks for sticking around, you guys. Our next response is from Kushbu, who is also a Band 9 member. So let's see how Kushbu applies our strategies here.
My best friend's name is Harsha Bulchandani. Unfortunately, she passed away when we were quite young, probably in our mid-teens, if I remember it correctly. But that does not change the fact that she was, is, and always be my best friend. The top on the list, in fact. We became friends when we were in our second grade. We studied from different schools, but then we were batchmates, and fortunately, we met over some extracurricular classes which were held at a common institute. She had a complete contrast personality than mine. I was introvert and shy, while she was extrovert and bold. And I believe these features attracted me the most towards her because she could make friends and talk to each and every person present in the room, while it could take me ages to talk to the person sitting right next to me. So, being an extrovert that she is, she made the first move and came over and talked to me. Uh, and then the journey started. We became very good friends, and I still do remember that I could share each and everything with her, which I couldn't with anyone else. So she became that good a friend. And in addition, she always had a smile on her face. It didn't matter to her what the situation was, what the circumstances were. She always had that positive fighting spirit, and that is something that really influenced me to live life in a better way and to always have a fighting spirit in oneself with a smiling face on always. So I still do remember her since she's.
Okay, very good. Yeah, really, really nice. And I thought you did a really, really good job of separating those different steps in your answer. And that gave you that confidence in your grammar that you know, right now I'm using past tense, right now I'm using present tense, right now I'm using future tense, like that. And it kind of helped you separate out your vocabulary as well. So you did a really, just like we saw with Dimple, you did a good job of comparing her personality to your own, okay, which is a great way to extend that kind of detail area of your answer. So, very good. Strategy-wise, you are on the right track. I think your intonation, sometimes you could drop a little more at the end of your sentences. That's something that I think people from certain areas of the world have different intonation patterns in general. And I think in English in particular, there's a really hard drop at the end of phrases and at the end of sentences. Okay, so if there's one thing you could improve about your pronunciation, it would be your intonation. And it's all about just having a little more dramatic drop to your voice at the end of phrases. I'm kind of emphasizing it now, but that's what I mean. The drop at the end. Top of the list. I was introverted, she was extroverted. Or you can say, I was an introvert. Okay, so introvert is a noun, extrovert is a noun, and so you need to use the an here. Or you can use it as an adjective with ed. It's kind of your choice. Personally, I think these are a little more natural, so I would use the noun if possible. She became that good of a friend. It's just a very little thing, but yeah, that good of a friend. All right, very nice though. I think you're on track for a really high score with your speaking. If your part 1 and part 3 are anything like that, I think you're going to be getting a really high score there, so good. Let's see here. All right, no more questions here, so let's see a couple new people watching. If you're watching right now, if you have questions, comments, anything, just let me know in the comments and you're going to see it appear here on the screen. And of course, for any new people, this is our website. This is where you can join our Band 9 program. All right, and we have just one more speaker. Oh, a little bit sad. Almost done here, but our last speaker is Martha, which is the first time I'm hearing that name. I kind of like it, though. Martha Walter. All right, let's go ahead and listen up.
In this lifetime, it's a very opportunity to meet someone who can share interests, hobbies, and likes. So whenever you get that opportunity, just try to use it effectively and wisely. I'm very glad to meet one of my best friends, who is called Mariana. I met her when we were in college. I remember that day we were conducting a discussion at college, and we were given.
Yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and stop it there, you guys. Unfortunately, yeah, Martha, I think what may have happened there is you're speaking like right next to your microphone, so that it's very muddled. Like obviously we can't really hear what those words are. Now I'm going to be doing another live lesson in a similar way very soon. So when you do make this kind of audio recording, let's see if it shows up on the screen here. Okay, you're going to start recording. Allow access here. Okay, you're going to be recording like this, right? And once you're finished recording, click stop, and then play it for yourself. Allow access here. Okay, you're going to be recording like this, right? And once you're finished recording, right? And so if it's clear like that, then great. Then, I think you'll see a button that says submit. Then go ahead and submit it. Make sure that you listen first, okay? Otherwise, yeah, there's a chance that there's something strange with your microphone. You've got it really close to your mouth like this, or maybe just the smartphone microphone is not working very well. So I feel sorry about that, Martha, but yeah, hopefully you get a chance in our next live lesson to post a recording that we can hear more easily. Oh no, I didn't want to start that program. Sorry, guys. Here, let me just put it to my full screen here. All right, well, that is going to do it for our lesson for today. Okay, we're going to be coming at you again with another lesson very soon. So if you didn't get a chance to speak in this one, you will get a chance very shortly to participate again. We'll also be doing some writing lessons as well. All right, again, my name is Ben, and you can contact me through Facebook. IELTS for All is the name of our group, or check us out on the website IELTSlessons4u.com. All right, cheers, guys. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.